I agree with a lot what the manager said there tonight about being proud with the group. There was a lot of pressure on them those first 15 minutes. They really took the game to their opponent, just weren't clinical enough. That's where they failed, really. But I think the journey that they're on, I think he's putting the pieces together in this jigsaw piece. It's a long, winding road. It's not a straight path to success. And I know what that feels like. And he's talked before this game tonight about the hurt, anger, and using it as energy into tonight's game. They did that. And that's what they're going to have to build upon for next season. I was in an Arsenal team that went 3 seasons second best to Manchester United. Disappointments in major cup finals. Okay, this is almost like a cup final here. They've got to bounce back and make sure that they build from there. It's a foundation to build from now, but obviously recruitment is key to that. You know, we look at this team here tonight, that they bought Kvaratskhelia in January for £80 million, and they made a statement, and look how important he's been to them. So, you know, I think Arsenal got caught on the hop a little bit with the injuries that they had, but I think they've done well. With the players he's at his disposal, I think they've gone a hell of a long way in this tournament.
What was it you think took your team over the line?
Belief. This won't happen to us again. It can't happen. The hurt. We'll find a way to be successful, and we were lucky enough and fortunate enough to go and do that. But you have to stick together right now. You know, it's about tying down these players, the likes of Saliba, keep him at the football club. This is the back four that Arsenal have got. Okay, Gabriel not available. Some of the best defenders in Europe. So it's a look at the positives. Declan Rice been going from strength to strength. You know, it's certain areas of the pitch. It's not massive jobs here to put the icing on the cake for Arsenal to be successful.
Jack, you praised how good a coach Mikel Arteta is, and knowing him from playing and also his time in coaching, and you learning a little bit and being inspired by him. But has he had enough support in terms of the hierarchy above him, giving him the right players or giving him the right sort of budget for it?
Well, we've definitely spent some money. Maybe we could have spent more. I think a big thing is the injuries, honestly, Laura. And I know people will say, oh, that's an excuse. It's not an excuse, it's a fact. Owen mentioned earlier about Milan having the possibility to make changes. Barcelona brought on Lewandowski off the bench to try and find something. So, of course, it makes a difference. They have to find a way to be able to keep these players fit for the whole season and be able to make them compete. I see a lot of similarities with what Martin's saying with his team. And you know, I played in a team that was, for years and years, was questioned of lack of leadership, and probably rightly so. When we didn't have the leaders in Martin's group, and we probably didn't have the leaders that this group has now. And I think that's how the answer to your question before, how they bounce back, is they need them leaders. They need to make sure that this hurts, and they understand what they did wrong, and they try and make it better next year.
Oh, well, Jurgen's special.
He is very special.
Tell
He
you
is
what,
very special.
World Cup winner.
Yes, we've got another one of them.
Yeah, I know, but Jurgen doesn't have to remind us every time. Others do. I don't want to point fingers. I'm just saying.
All right. Oh
well,
no.
That's the difference between a big star and not so much a big star. So I have to remind everybody that he plays that game. You know?
Okay, there's shots fired with the first question.
All right. Okay.
Is this Bald FC tonight?
Oh, dear.
What does Arsenal... there was just no need for it because it has no relation to anything else.
Wait. The answer is yes. Yes. Okay. Yes, it is.
Yes, it is. Okay.
You should see Kane when he takes the wig off.
Bald is beautiful.
That would be a look. That'd be a look. Go for it, Kay.
No. What does Arsenal need to do this?
Have the guts.
No. It's not happening. I'm trying to grow it, not lose it.
I know, but it'll grow back. And see, that's the difference between you and the three of us. We cut it, doesn't necessarily grow back.
Maybe I cut it off and I give you all a little bit and make some wigs out of it.
No. Look, I like my hair. My hair is sexy, Kay. Sexy.
Bald is beautiful, as I said.
I'm just saying.
It just felt like a bit of a shot fired from Abu Zakir here.
I can grow a little bit, you know. Still got some growing.
Yeah, really shave it, you know. Really shave it. Don't wonder.
Yeah,
you are in the phase where you still wonder.
Wait,
Robo and I, we decided we didn't have the choice, but you still fighting against it.
Well, that's because I still have a choice. Hey, you know what one barber told me one time, Frank? He said, there's still people in the stadium. While he was looking back there, he's like, there's still people in the stadium. They're leaving, but there's still people in the stadium.
It's clean on, like Inter's defence in the 119th minute, all right?
Yeah.
All right. What does Arsenal need to do this summer to move the needle from perennial runners-up and semi-finalists to actually win a title? Can Arteta take them there if he gets a top striker like Osimhen or Gyökeres? This is for you, Robbo.
Well, he's got to get a top striker. Who that top striker is, only Arteta will know. Gyökeres is obviously a very good player and scores goals. Osimhen has got pace and can run in behind. Depends what sort of striker he wants. But he's got to get somebody that's going to score goals on a regular basis and somebody that can lead the line. You know, you can try and outnumber teams out in wide areas. Eventually, you need somebody who's going to score goals, and that has to be key for Arteta this summer. And do it early. Don't wait till the last minute, which Arsenal so often do.
I heard...
Just a quick example of that. And you look at the other teams that were left in the semi-final, all had strikers. And if you count Ousmane Dembele as a striker, and he has been a striker this season, PSG also had a striker. Go back to the goal scored by Lautaro Martinez against Bayern Munich, the one in which he slaps it with the outside of his right foot. That sort of goal is what you need from a striker at Arsenal. A guy that, in a play that seems to be broken, that he can find the special touch. Arsenal don't have that player. And until they find that player, they're going to come up short because you're going to need that moment. When it gets tight, you're going to need that moment and that player to score that goal. They don't have it.
No. Frank, do you consider Arsenal's season a success or a failure?
Well, you know, it's extreme. Saying a failure, it's not a failure. I mean, you finish second, you are semi-final of the FA Cup or the League Cup, and you are semi-final of the Champions League. It cannot be a failure. Yes, it's going to be without silverware, so it's disappointing. But I mean, the work has been done, and if you remember, like 3-4 years ago, where was Arsenal? And the amount of work that they've done together, Arteta and the players, have to be awarded in a way. Yes, they didn't win anything. Yes, we're expecting, because Manchester City didn't do the job this season, that they could win the Premier League. But it's, you know, it's always difficult. One team has to win, and only one team out of 20. So you have to accept the fact that Arsenal finished twice runner-up, but there is a reason they are there. They are there. It's because they have talent and they are progressing into the top. And next season they're going to fight again. And if they get that striker, maybe they can achieve something, because they are there. So saying it's a failure, it's not a success because you have no silverware, but you cannot say it's a failure.
Okay.
Arsenal injury update: Martin Odegaard, Jurrien Timber, Ricardo Calafiori latest news and return dates. Arsenal have been dealt a possible double injury blow ahead of facing PSG. Arsenal endured a difficult weekend as the Gunners fell to a home defeat to Bournemouth, amid concerns over the fitness of both Jurrien Timber and captain Martin Odegaard. With the crunch Champions League semi-final second leg against Paris Saint-Germain looming on Wednesday, time is tight for any injured players to make themselves available. The likes of Ricardo Calafiori, Kai Havertz and Jorginho are all hoping to feature again for the second ends. But the midweek trip to Paris is soon coming into focus. The captain played the full 90 minutes as Arsenal were beaten by Bournemouth, providing an assist for Declan Rice's opener in an otherwise familiarly ineffective showing. Odegaard was seen limping at the full-time whistle, having earlier inadvertently kicked the turf when taking a shot. Arteta had no update when asked about his skipper's fitness after the game, telling reporters, "I haven't had a chance yet to speak to the doctor giving me an update on that, so I don't know." The centre-back was a shock absence from the team sheet for Bournemouth's visit to the Emirates on Saturday, and Mikel Arteta was guarded when asked about his condition. Asked whether he was confident Timber would be available for the PSG trip. The Italian's first season in N5 has gotten off to a slow start. He has impressed when on the pitch, but struggled for fitness throughout the campaign, missing long stretches of the campaign through injury. Jorginho, one of the most experienced members of this Arsenal squad, suffered a lung injury against Brentford and has been out since mid-April, complicated than expected. Thankfully, he's fine, he's feeling good, he's recovering well, but it was a bit more than what we wanted. Hopefully, if everything goes well in the next week or so, I think he will gradually integrate in the team. While his involvement is unlikely, Arteta did not formally rule Jorginho out of the PSG tie, lumping him in with Calafiori as he said it may come down to a last-minute decision. Lower-profile absence from the Bournemouth team sheet was second-string goalkeeper Neto, who has made 4 appearances in all competitions this season. On loan from Bournemouth, he was ineligible to face his parent club and, as such, was left out of the squad. He should return to the bench in Paris. The silky German is continuing to struggle with a hamstring issue suffered in a warm-weather training camp in February. The silky German is continuing to struggle with a hamstring issue suffered in a warm-weather training camp in February. Gabriel underwent surgery to correct a hamstring problem in early April and has shifted his attention to preparing for next season. An Arsenal statement said further to being substituted during our match against Fulham on Tuesday, "We can confirm that Gabriel Magalhaes has sustained a hamstring injury which requires surgery. Gabby will undergo a surgical repair procedure to his hamstring in the coming days and immediately begin his recovery and rehabilitation program, with the aim to be ready for the start of next season." Tomiyasu has been a constant absentee from Arsenal's 2024-25 campaign, making just 1 appearance worth 6 minutes in October. He had been struggling with a persistent knee issue, eventually undergoing surgery in February. The Japan international posted a statement on Instagram, "I've had a surgery on my knee few days ago, and I've already started my rehab to do what I love the most again. It has been the toughest period in my career for sure, and it carries on a bit more, but I won't give up. Thank you for your support and see you again." Gabriel Jesus is not expected to return to play this season, last featuring for Arsenal in January's FA Cup loss to Man United. He has struggled with knee issues throughout his stint in N5 and has been forced to undergo yet another surgery on a torn cruciate ligament.